A new hope, Bashar al-Assad's early days. Bashar al-Assad became president of Syria in 2000. He was young and trained as an eye doctor in London. Many people hoped he would change things and make Syria more open. At first, Assad made some changes. He allowed a little more free speech. People could talk about politics a little more openly. He also made it easier for businesses to work. But these first changes didn't last. Assad's government still controlled many parts of Syrian life. People against him were often silenced and bad things continued to happen. The hope for a truly free Syria began to fade. Taking control, becoming a dictator. Over time, Assad became more controlling. His government cracked down on anyone who disagreed, arresting and jailing those who spoke against him. Free speech became limited, and the news stayed under the government's thumb. Syrians grew more and more frustrated with Assad. They wanted more freedom and a voice in their country. Peaceful protests started, asking for changes and better treatment. But Assad answered these protests with violence. His forces shot at protesters, hurting and killing many. This violence was a turning point, pushing Syria towards a civil war. A country divided, the Syrian civil war begins. The Syrian civil war officially started in 2011. It began with peaceful protests against Assad. People were tired of living under his harsh rule. They wanted democracy and freedom. But Assad's government answered these protests with violence. They attacked their own people. This led to more people fighting back against the government. The country fell into a terrible civil war. Many different groups fought in the war. Some wanted democracy, others had different goals, like creating their own countries. The war became very complex. Losing control, the fall of Assad. By 2023, Assad seemed to be winning the war. He had taken back most of the country with help from Russia and Iran. But in a surprise turn, Assad's government fell apart in late 2024. Rebel groups working together attacked and won many battles. They took important cities, even the capital, Damascus. Assad ran away to Russia. Assad's fall was a big deal. It ended his long rule. The Syrian people, who had suffered greatly during the war, now had a chance to rebuild, but many challenges remained.